Hey guys, Dennis here with Revog Games. I'm joined by.
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa, using a really
Yes.
bad webcam microphone currently.
Yes, because you're currently not at home in your regular
Yeah,
setup. But we're glad to have
I'm
you.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Glad to have you here. It's been quite a few weeks. I was gone for a few weeks and then I came back, but it's
Mhm.
still been quite not so much anymore. Now we're starting to get into some, you know,
Almost too much news, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, obviously, with Gamescom this week. We're kind of doing this podcast midway through Gamescom, so I'm sure we're going to talk about more about it on our next week's podcast. But we wanted to talk about all the stuff going on. The first thing, though, not Gamescom related, but quickly talking about The Last of Us. We got our first
Hmm.
look. It was a very short look. Like I don't know. They're calling it a teaser trailer, but it's even like less than a teaser trailer. It's like I don't know. It's just kind of like a tease of a teaser trailer. Anyways, but we get our to see our first official footage. It was kind of wrapped up in this HBO promo, which they were debuting in front of House of the Dragon, which ended up being HBO's most watched premiere ever, which makes sense because it's kind of people always forget this, and always people always don't remember because they're probably a bunch of bandwagoners. Because I started watching Game of Thrones right from the get go, but Game of Thrones did not become super popular until closer to I think what
Like second or third season, man.
yeah, I think like end of second season, early third season. Like that's kind of when Game of Thrones started to get really popular. When it first debuted, it had not that many. I think it was like 2 million, maybe 2 million
Well,
viewers or something like that. The
I
premiere episode.
yeah, I found out about Game of Thrones around about when the third or fourth episode of season one came out. So
Mm-hmm.
like very early into it, and not a single soul I knew about the TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it did take a while to build up. Same with Breaking Bad. Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, the first season they technically got canceled or they didn't even finish it. That's why it has so many few episodes. They didn't think it was gonna get picked up.
Yeah. I was late to the ship or whatever, or late to the party on Breaking Bad. I think I joined after the second season was done or something like that. But
Same,
anyways,
same.
the whole point is they knew House of the Dragon was going to be big, so they did this whole big promo. It was a very long promo that showed off kind of their new um, slate, so to say, of HBO
Yeah.
Max programming, showing the kind of the shows that they already have, and then new shows that are coming up. And this was one. This was kind of the one they kind of saved for the very end of the promo because they knew it was a big deal, and they put a whole section for it because like a lot of the other ones were like they literally showed like 2 or 3 seconds of a show and was like this is on our channel too, but this one they actually like built up to it. They're like incoming soon, blah 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 blah. Anyways, you saw the footage. What did you think of the very brief? I'd say like
Very
15 20
beautiful, dude.
15
I would
20
say
seconds.
cinematography is great. It's looking very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I look like I was expecting quality from the beginning. So I think the best way to put it is I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm satisfied. Like it from what I saw. I mean, I'm satisfied and I'm looking forward to all of it. A lot of wide angle shots, a lot of like exposition shots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I like it, man. And also, I do love Pedro Pascal. Everybody looks cast really well. You know what I mean? I think that this is going to be probably the best video game adaptation TV series that like of all time until something better comes out. Like I think this is going to be the go-to, you know?
We'll
The Witcher
see.
doesn't really count because they're
Well,
technically adapted off of the books and not the
yeah,
game, you know?
true. Though I
Yeah.
will counter argue you. What you call it? Arcane, League of Legends.
Oh, true.
Technically a
Arcane
video
was
game.
amazing.
Yeah. So I mean that's.
But that's animated, not
I
live
know.
action.
I
Like
know.
I think
I
you
know.
can
If you want to say
get
live
away.
action,
Like
sure.
The Tekken anime. I just binged that. That I really enjoyed the Tekken anime as well.
But for me right now, like
Um,
the Arcane is like the top of the heap of video game adaptations. Yes, it is not live
yeah,
action; it is animated. So, and
but it's still beautiful
I don't
though,
even
man.
play
God
League of
damn.
Legends. But yeah, the anyways, yes, I do believe The Last of Us. A lot of positive. I saw some negativity, but
I think the Fallout TV show might be a good match for it in the future. You
I
know,
hope so.
I've
But
seen. I don't know. I don't know if we covered it, but they did leak footage of the set, like a lot the set from Fallout. I don't know
oh,
if you saw that.
I don't think we covered that. I didn't look at
Oh, it
that.
looks good, dude.
I
It
just
looks
hope
like the game come to life.
I just hope that they capture kind of the dark comedy humor that Fallout has. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know about that, but the photo I saw, they definitely got like the dark grittiness. Like I think it was an
Mm-hmm.
underground subway like station
Mm-hmm.
from what I saw, but it literally looked like it was straight out of Fallout, but like just at a incredibly much higher resolution because it's real life, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, they've nailed the feel. You know what I mean? The actual like from the set that I could see, the set they've nailed. You know, like everything's like rusted because you're in the apocalypse and it has that like 50s, 60s kind of like everything's like bubbly shaped because it's like the 60s or whatever or like you know what I mean or essentially it's that weird style. So I think that they will actually nail that dark gritty humor of Fallout as well, you know.
Hopefully. Well, back to the
But we're a
last.
long way away from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's way off. But Last of Us is coming
Yeah.
right around the corner, and
Soon. Yeah.
I love the shot of Nick Offerman as Survival Bill or Survivalist Bill.
Yes.
Such a perfect casting.
Yeah.
If you know about Nick
Yes.
Offerman and his, his he played Ron Swanson in Parks and
Hmm.
Rec, and he's not that far off of that character, So I'm glad to see him in this role. Yeah, it wasn't much, but from what we saw, it looked good. I don't know. There was a few people, but I feel like there's always people who are like on YouTube that are a bunch of grifters that all they do is just be negative on everything, and that's their whole thing, and so whatever this
Most
short
commentary channels, yeah.
yeah, like this short amount of footage is like going super negative on like really okay. It's not even that much to go on, but yeah. For me personally, yeah, it looks good. It looks very true to the game, and let's see, how it is. And we know Pedro Pascal is a very good actor. I forgot what the name of the actress. What's her name? She was in Game of Thrones. They both were in Game of Thrones. She played what was that girl's name? She was part of the.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right.
Like, well, I mean, I watched it, but it's like people can hate me for this. I thought it was so boring, man.
Oh
And
man.
I like. Then again, I couldn't get past the first season, and supposedly it does get better after that. But I just
Yes.
like I don't. I'm not a fan of politics. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
okay. It
actually,
does it.
I'm a fan of politics in real life, but not in TV shows and movies. You know?
Okay. Yes, it is very politics
That's
heavy. That's kind of why I like it. Actually,
yeah.
less. I mean, dragons are cool and everything, but the dragon part is actually not.
It's more
What?
about the politics. That's why that
Yes.
show's so good, man. You know,
Yeah.
the different houses and like
Yeah.
it's no,
Yeah.
I get it. For me, it's just not my
Yeah.
thing. You know, I'd rather watch Vikings.
On a side note, The Last of Us Part 1 official launch trailer came out. This is the one that is coming out, the remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
It's coming out on the PS5 not that long, in
the
like in a
cash
week.
grab. Yeah, the cash grab. Yeah.
In a week on the PS5. It's also in development for the PC, but we don't have a date for that yet. We mentioned this before about it. Like, I'm interested in it, but number one, I'm not interested in buying just part one. I want to buy part one and whenever the hell they remake part two.
Yeah.
I want to buy it on my PC, and second, maybe if they bundle 1 and 2 together for $50-$60, okay, but I'm not buying part 1 over again for a game that I already played and beat. Actually, I own 2 copies. I have the PS3 copy and the remastered for PS4. So no, I'm not
Same.
buying. I'm not buying the PC version just for the remake at full price. And just
The only reason why I might
mm-hmm.
is because I no longer have my PlayStation. So if I did want to replay the game, I don't have access to it, you know? So that's the only reason I might. But for the most part, I will be surprised if this sells like well, you know? I think it'll sell, but I don't think it's going to sell super good, you know?
I
People have
think,
played the game already for the most part.
like I mentioned before many times, they need to do their PC and PS5 premiere dates,
Releases
launch
closer
date.
together, yeah.
You're wasting marketing dollars. Imagine if you were releasing it on September 2nd and it was PS5 and PC. Or just delay the PS5 one till the PC, and then you get everyone's like, hey, it's available on PS5 and PC. Now to wait another whatever, let's say 6 months, and they release the PC version, then you get, all the hoopla from the PS5 remaster or remake, or whether or not you got good buzz or bad buzz. Either way, it's not good. You know what I mean? So just do it at the same time.
Then again, like I do say I don't see the points in it, but I did just buy Marvel Spider-Man remastered, and I do own that on the PS4. Once again, I don't have access to my PS4 anymore, so well, I gave it away to my nephew, so I got it because I want to play the game, and I can't play the game anymore. But it is a very different experience playing the game with more than 165 frames a second, you know what I mean? Which I would imagine playing The Last of Us remastered in 4K with 120 FPS or whatever. I'd imagine that is going to be a vastly different experience from when I played the game on a PS3, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that
but the story is not going to be different, you know? I'm not learning anything new, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that, look, I'm not saying people aren't, or the company isn't putting a lot of effort into this remake or remaster. And
I just wonder if it'll make its money back, you know? What do you think?
I think maybe once the PC version comes out. I mean,
maybe
if you look
it'll
at the trailer,
yeah.
It looks great. If you look at the trailer, it looks great. Obviously, put a lot of effort into redoing the graphics and the models and the animation, all that stuff. Look, I'm not knocking it. Just as someone who owns it on a PS3 and PS4, I want to wait until there's part 1 and part 2 together. Maybe then I'll buy it. But
get the bundle or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, that makes sense, right? You're getting 1, 2, and 3, and all 3 of them the graphics are updated. So that's like more of a thing. Like I'm getting the whole trilogy, and they're all remastered. Okay, $60. Okay. So in Last of Us, okay, they don't have 3 parts. Just give me 1 and 2 together, remastered, $60. Okay, that makes more sense. So, I mean, you know how much of an Alan Wake fan I am, and I did not buy the remaster.
Yep.
I already own it on the PC, and I own it on the Xbox 360.
Isn't it on Game Pass?
I used to be. I think it's not on there anymore. But anyways, I own 2 I own the Xbox 360 version, and I own a PC version, and so it's just not. And when I bought the PC version, it was cheap on sale. You know what I mean? I think it was like $10 or $15. I wasn't paying full price for something I already owned. And that was not a remaster; it was just the PC version. It was on sale. But anyways, look, I love The Last of Us. I just don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this thing's gonna be a huge hit or whatever. I know the Spider-Man remaster, I think did pretty well.
Well, the TV show could sell the game potentially. People could watch the TV show and then be like, "Oh, I've never heard of this," and then play the game.
Yeah. Oh,
that's possible.
Also, with the Spider-Man thing, remember, the remaster was coming on PC. They already remastered for PS5. It's the remaster for PC, so you have a new audience who, if they don't own a PS4 or PS5, can play it. Unlike
it's their first time, yeah.
Yes, unlike this is like, okay, it's launching on PS5. It's like most people who own a PS5 owned a PS4, right? It's just, I'm sure the percentage is very, very high. So you're not going to a brand new audience. That's why I'm saying this. Having it ready for PC was probably the better play. But whatever. I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe they want to get in that new audience from when the show comes out. But the
TV show, yeah. Because look at if you look at The Witcher, I know a lot of people watched The Witcher that had no idea it was a game or a book series, and they loved it. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people in my family watched that, loved it, had no idea it was a game or a book. You know what I mean?
But the question is,
it's definitely going to bring in a new audience.
Did they play the game though? That's the thing.
No, because technology scares them, Dennis.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is like
if they were younger though, they absolutely would have. I think. It's like
the whole comic.
Well,
it's the whole comic book debate, right?
Yeah.
Look how the biggest movies franchise in the world is the MCU. It's like there's no doubt about it. It has overtaken Star Wars. Star
Mhm.
Wars used to be, now it's Marvel. Guess what? The comic books unfortunately did not really get a
They
significant
suffer,
boost.
dude.
They never got a significant
Man,
boost from the popularity
it
of the
suffers.
movies. The TV shows are getting popular, and the movies and whatever, but even the video games are more popular. The actual comic books themselves have not really gotten a significant boost, where the video games gotten a boost, TV shows have gotten a boost. Obviously, the movies are very big.
You-
So what I'm saying is, I don't know how
Yeah.
much of an audience that is going to watch The Last of Us that has never played the game. I guarantee there's going to be people who watch The Last of Us have never played the game and will love it. But how many,
Yeah.
what percentage are going to actually go and buy a PS4, PS5 and play the game? I just
Probably
don't see
not
that
much, yeah.
yeah.
Unless they already own a PS4, PS5, maybe then. But no, I agree. Look, I do think the TV show is going to help sell the game somewhat to a degree.
Mhm.
It's but like you said, they're going to make most of their money when it comes to PC because the game hasn't been on PC yet. Technically, for a short while, you could stream the game through PlayStation Now, which is a service that no longer exists for PC users.
Yeah.
But which still makes no sense to me how they can be. I don't know. I guess the money that they were making from people using PlayStation Now on PC wasn't worth it for them to consider that when they revamped PS Plus. But yeah,
aren't they folding that into PS Plus? But it's like on the higher tier, right? It's like
it is. That's what you could have paid separately for it for $10 a month, but now you have to get the higher
like
$20 tier
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
So you're essentially paying double. Yeah, and even then, I don't know if you can still use it through because it was browser based. It was its own thing. Is like you
Yeah.
could technically have streamed PlayStation games onto your Xbox through the Edge browser, Microsoft Edge browser. So yeah, I don't know. They're like their loss, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
So, anyways, let's kind of talk about Gamescom, which is happening right now.
Yeah.
We had
a lot of stuff, man.
opening night yesterday, and then there's been more stuff coming out. I'll start off with what I kind of took notice of, and then you can add your anything that's different than mine. First thing I saw, and so the Sonic Frontiers trailer came out, and it was a release date trailer. Okay, I didn't mind the trailer itself. I thought it was decent. It showed off kind of what the game was about. It looked decent. My only issue with it is the release date, which is November, I think 8th, 2022. Remember, there's been a ton of not so good feedback on the demos that people were able to play a few months ago, and judging from kind of how sparse kind of the world looked in some of the demos, like it just looked like it needed a lot of work, right? I do see there's a lot of potential for this, but November is very, very soon for a game that a lot of people said that wasn't even ready for a demo. You know what I mean? So that's my concern. Not so much the quality of the trailer, just more like, really? I thought you guys would have pushed it back to next year. What do you think?
I will say first of all, the trailer has gotten me more interested in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in the story as to what. Also, thank God they're not using like realistic. There was a time where Sonic games had like real people in it. Like, yeah, they're CGI, but they're real people. You know what I mean? Interacting with like a blue spiky hedgehog. It was very weird. So it's nice to see that they went with like a more cartoony looking character for the main villain or whoever that person was. I'm curious as to why Amy was locked up in some kind of dome. So I'm more interested in the story. My biggest issue is that I just don't know if the gameplay will be good enough to keep me invested to play and to find out about the story. The world still looks a little desolate. It looks a little clunky. Everything looks a little thrown together. Like I said, I'm actually excited. Now I'm excited for the story of the game, but I'm still very worried about the gameplay. If you don't, like you said, people tested the game and they said that when you go fast, it doesn't feel like you're going fast. And it's like, if I don't feel like I'm going fast, it's not Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, you got to feel like you're going fast, man. Whether it's the 2D side scroller game or it's a third person or first person, I want to feel fast. Yeah. So I'm worried about the gameplay. But glad to know that there's a story. A little shook by the voice actor for Sonic. I like it though. It's just that I was so expecting like a very high-pitched, nasally, "Hey guys, we're gonna go save the world" kind of
Yeah,
thing, you know what I mean? And instead, the voice actor sounded very like normal main protagonist,
yeah.
you know? I was like, okay, that's cool. Like not too edgy either, which I like, you know?
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's weird. I have higher hopes for it now after seeing that trailer, but I'm still very skeptical on the gameplay.
I don't like that release date. I think that's the thing that's bothering me. Just too soon. Like
Mm.
they're gonna fix all those problems that
It
made the
looks
core
slapped
version.
together, man.
Hmm.
It the world looks slapped together, like, you know?
All right, moving on. This one surprised me. Dune Awakening. It was no gameplay.
Yeah,
No gameplay. It was just a cinematic reveal. When it first started,
beautiful cinematic, but yeah,
I thought it was going to be they were talking about Dune because remember they're rebooting the
the
RTS.
Spice Wars, yeah.
Yeah, the RTS. So I thought, oh, cool. I'm probably not gonna play this. Turns out they're making an MMORPG based on the Dune world.
Ballsy,
I mean, the
very
cinematic
ballsy,
looks
but yeah.
cool. I kind of wish this was a single player open world game, versus an
Hmm.
MMO. That's just my preference, but you know, I'm sure it can
The
work.
MMO aspect, the MMO aspect makes sense because of the different like houses or whatever, if you
Hmm.
will, you know, because there's
Yeah,
also some politics involved in that. Also, like that's weird how I enjoy Dune for its politics, but I don't enjoy Game of Thrones for politics. I think that's very funny. But anyways, we have no idea what the hell the game's about because it was just a CGI trailer. So we have I I can speculate that there's going to be melee combat because of the
yeah.
way the guy jumped at the freaking sandworm with his axes or whatever. Probably going to get attached to it and get hoisted up. The lore and the world of Dune makes sense as an MMO. It's just very ballsy to be
Hmm.
trying to make an MMO in this day and age
This
when
climate.
your competition in this climate as well, dude. The competition is fierce. Like like World of Warcraft is falling off, but they're making a comeback with their new Dragon Newt, whatever
Hmm.
their new expansion has pulled in a lot of attention and people are looking forward to it. But Final Fantasy 14 is chart topping. Even Fantasy Star Online 2 is doing pretty good.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and we've seen good MMOs drop dead, like New World. I really enjoyed New World, but they didn't polish the end game for that. Like the first 20 to 30 levels of New World is the most fun you will ever have in an MMORPG. But the end game was non-existent. I'm sure they fixed it by now, but because they launched with no end game, they kind of killed themselves. So they really, and this is a big IP, they really got to hit the nail on the head with this one from launch. Like if this game isn't good on launch, it's an MMORPG. It will disappear into obscurity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
did
gonna
like
be. It's,
Spice Wars though,
and
the
look,
RTS
you can sign up for
that
you
came
can
out.
sign up for the beta right now at DuneGames.com.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. This is definitely for next gen. I mean, it looks from the cinematic trailer, which is always can be deceiving. It looks very cool. Let's see how it
yeah,
goes. It is very, like you said, it is
yeah.
very
It's ballsy. You
yeah,
gotta have a lot of kahunas to be dropping an MMO in the current like just the current gaming climate. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You got a lot of competition there. It's like if you had to decide to make your own Call of Duty game now, like you got to compete with Call of Duty. You know what I
hmm,
mean? Still top dog. I mean that's a bad example, but yeah, it's like trying to make your own FIFA game when FIFA already exists.
yeah.
It's tricky. It's possible, but it's very tricky. Um, yeah, man. Also, everybody should take this with a grain of salt. It's an MMORPG, so the graphics of the game itself might not be that grand
Yeah.
because you
You got to
can't really
traverse the
have like the
world.
most
You could traverse the whole
exactly.
world. So
So it can't be like super high-end graphics. That's the reason why Warcraft. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is beautiful. Like the character models are high res, and the world is a little lower res. That's how they kind of get away with having it look so nice, you know? Um, I mean, yeah. Once again, it's one of those things where if they nail it, I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be better than New World. I think more people will play this game than they'll playing New World, you know?
yeah,
I don't think it'll be able to compete with Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft, though.
yeah.
Maybe in a few years from now, if they can build up that player base, who knows?
Yeah, but it depends on how much they want to put into it, right? We've seen a lot of games that like
Yeah,
had high aspirations and then just they just weren't getting the results that they wanted,
just
so they
didn't,
just
man.
scrapped
Yeah,
it. They just scrap it. I mean, that's
I will say as well, and this is kind of got nothing to do with the game, because what we saw was a CGI cutscene. It's not in-game. It was, pre-rendered, whatever. But that dude's hair looked real,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Like that kind of blew my mind. I know it's a pre-rendered cutscene, but that dude's hair looked real, man.
Hmm.
I was impressed by that. Like the rest of the CGI was great, but the guy's hair looked real to me. I was like, holy crap, okay, that's kind of cool. Um, but hey, cutscenes are cutscenes. So we can't say anything until we get gameplay. They're
Yeah,
just building hype currently.
that's good. I mean, it's good.
Like, yeah,
It was
it's
a
a good
good
way to build
trailer
hype,
for it was a good trailer for what it was. All right, Hogwarts Legacy. I actually really like this. It's
I was about to mention this.
the
Yeah.
Sebastian Solo's Dark Legacy trailer. It just gives more about the story, about the like how the dark arts kind of play into the story of this game. It looks good. Look, Hogwarts Legacy. We're not
Mm.
you're not playing this game to have the the best graphics in the world, but it looks decent. And then
Fun.
and I like
It's fun,
the
man. Yeah, that's
story.
what it looks like.
Did we already have a release date for it? Because they have a release date at the end, and I don't remember. I remember it got delayed, right?
It's a new release date. Yeah, I think it now has a new release date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Isn't it February
February.
10th?
Let me see. It's
10th?
February. Let me
I think it's
see.
February 10th.
Yeah, February 10th, 2023. I
Yeah.
remember it got pushed back to next year.
I don't know if we had the date.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be February, but I don't know if we had the date. We knew it
Yeah.
was February though.
Yeah. And to be fair, I don't think they ever said it was coming out this year. It was
Yeah.
anticipated
Speculation.
yes, that it was going to come out at the end of this year, but no, it's next year, which is
I
fine.
kind of have a different reaction to you, by the way. I feel like this trailer was not necessary, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like it was nice to see like the implementation of the dark art. I'll be honest, everything I saw I kind of wish I didn't see. I would have liked to
Okay.
have seen it in the game itself.
I see.
But it is Gamescom and they have to drop a trailer. They have to keep the hype. So I understand that. But for me, I would have preferred not having seen it. You know what I mean? But it was the one thing that stood out for me the most was they showed off a lot of like the monsters and stuff you're going to be fighting, and I thought that was really cool. You know, like you got to see more of like the things you'll be fighting and stuff. In terms of characters and stuff, I saw. Just kind of wish I didn't, but whatever. Like I said, I do understand that they have to drop a trailer. It's Gamescom, you know.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I think it was one of those things where like I just wish I don't know. I didn't see any new mechanics or anything that would like warranted it needing to be shown. You know, it seemed more like
I,
stuff I kind of would have liked to have found out on my own playing the game.
I think for me as a casual Harry Potter fan, you know what I mean? Like, I've
Mm,
never read the books and I enjoy, not all the movies, but most of the movies. But I
mm,
never gone to whatever Hogwarts at Universal Studio. I'm just not that into it in that way. I'm just more of a casual fan. So for me, having more story helped me be like, okay, cool. Now I can get more invested in this. I don't like this digital deluxe edition. I know everyone does it, so it's not purely Hogwarts, but like, yeah, you get these if you pay for the digital, pre-order the digital deluxe edition, you get extra cosmetic digital assets, but you also get 72 hours early access. I hate that, to be honest. I don't like it.
mm.
It's like, imagine if you could see a
Yeah.
movie, but you paid more money. Let's say like the next whatever Avengers movie was coming out, and then you could see it early, but you paid like $75 for your your ticket instead of 25. And look, I know it's not that that much more for the digital deluxe edition, but you are paying extra on top, and then you get to play 3 days early or whatever. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
will
don't like
yeah,
that.
well, that's only for the pre-order though.
Yeah, still.
Because obviously, but I will say I would get it just for the mount, dude. I would get it because I think the mount that you get with the pre-order deal is pretty cool. You know,
Mhm.
the extra cosmetics is worth it for me, but that's because I'm a huge fan. You know.
All right, let's move on to this next one. Callisto Protocol had official.
Yeah.
content
Oh, that dude,
trailer.
that trailer looked so good. This trailer looked so good, man.
They had a little disclaimers at game and development, next gen hardware.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I wonder if it was running off a PC or what. But yeah, it looked great.
Most likely PC. The mechanics are so similar to the original game, which is what makes me
Dead
happy.
Space.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything I watched, I was like, this. it just looks like an incredibly high res Dead Space. Like the movement, the way you shoot limbs off, even the crosshair. I'm pretty sure is the same crosshair. You know what I mean? Uh, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's the same
It's
crosshair.
pretty similar.
I was very pleased. I
I
was
like
very pleased. I
I
was like,
like the
look, man,
animation.
this looks, yeah,
The
yeah,
animation's
yeah.
really
The
good.
part where the water comes in and it gets flushed, dude, it's it's looking good. Like I love the horror aspect of it, but this is the first time they've like shown us a good show of like the combat and gameplay mechanics and
Hmm.
stuff. And it's so spot on to like the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So man, I think this game's is gonna be great when it comes out. I think it's gonna sell well. I think people are gonna love it.
Has there ever been a demo slash trail that ended on the character's death? Because that's what this one does. He just gets like,
Who knows,
because
man?
you're like, oh, cool. He's like sliding through all that water, and then he just like, bam, gets cut in half, and like your dead body
Yeah,
is just like,
man.
you know,
There's some
yeah,
gruesome, gory death scenes in like
yeah,
the old Dead Space games. So
yeah,
I like that they showed like a gory death. You know,
yeah. But yeah, this game is looking good, very, very
it's
good.
looking real good.
Yeah. Now this one, I don't know what to say about this one because Forspoken. They had a gameplay overview
Yeah,
trailer. This game has had a lot of
it's changed so much, man.
and also there's just been so much speculation and kind of like people are like really watching this because if I'm not mistaken, this was the one that they used for the Unreal 5 demo. Is that what it was?
Correct. I think it was Project Fia originally.
Uh huh.
That was the original name for it, I believe. It was Project Fia, and then it became Forspoken. And so yeah, it started as a tech demo and evolved into a game.
Yeah.
The last time we saw footage of this, it looked boring.
Yes.
They just showed off like the running mechanics.
Yes.
There was nothing. Like, it looked very bland, flavorless. Like it looked like there wasn't much of a story. There wasn't much to do. Now there's over 100 spells and abilities. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like there is apparently a very deep
Mhm.
combat mechanic system coming up here with. They said it's going to be like Devil May Cry
Mhm.
in terms of like you're going to get combat scores from like a rank D to rank A or like possibly even rank S or whatever. So you'll
Mhm.
every single combat encounter you'll get a ranking on, which I like that. I like it's very Devil May Cry.
Mhm.
But that also tells you just how many combos are in the game because the only way you can put up a ranking system for your combat is if you have a very deep combo system, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, 100 spells and abilities, and they also give like more backstory to this girl. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of getting isekai vibes from it. From what I was seeing, it seems like like I could be wrong about this because I didn't watch the entire like 10-minute video. I didn't have the time, but it looks like she's like
She's from the modern
like
world.
from modern, yeah, she's from the
Yes.
modern world, yeah, so
And
it's like an isekai essentially where she is somehow transported or winds up in this other world. And I that's my favorite genre
Mhm.
of like manga, manhwa,
Mhm.
anime, Chinese anime, like to watch. Like that is my go-to genre. Or like I love reading light novels in that genre. So if this game is an isekai, I'm here for it, man. um
Yeah,
I'm not
she's
yeah,
wearing
I
sneakers.
like it.
She's got like,
Mm.
this like fantasy style wardrobe, but then she's like wearing sneakers. I
Like
like the
sneakers on that,
I
yeah.
like the potential of the variety of combat options you have because throughout
Mm.
the gameplay trailer you see her being able to do a lot of different things in terms of with the magic and the combat and flying around and kind of like almost like web slinging in some parts using her magic. The story on their hand seems a little generic, but maybe it's better than that. You can't tell for sure. I hope the environments, because right now, they're touting kind of about these different world or these different lands, and right now it looks a lot samey, but that could just be because maybe they're only showing off the first 2 or 3 levels, and that's why.
She's from New York.
Yeah,
She's from modern day New York.
yeah.
And yeah,
Uh,
so that's it. Sorry. She's from
so
modern day New York and then she gets pulled into this world. Yeah.
yeah, so I am. It's coming on January 24th, 2023, which is an interesting time for a game to come out.
Yeah.
It looks
Look,
better
Dennis,
than it did
I had
before.
zero interest. Yeah, I had zero interest in this game. Now I want this game. Like I
Okay.
want this game now.
Okay. My pendulum hasn't
Yeah.
swung that far. It's more like No interest whatsoever to, okay, maybe. Let's see. I'm still going to kind of keep my eye out on it.
One of the interviewers said they managed to get a bit of a grasp of the story, and it seems like it has just a slight amount of cringe, and that's how I know I'm gonna love it because most isekais have a slight amount of cringe, and they're relating it to even though it's not an RPG, they're relating it to a JRPG in terms of story, So that's how I know I'm gonna love it because it's right up my alley story wise. Even though we don't know much about the story, I can tell I'm gonna enjoy the story and it's looking way more fun. The thing is, there's things to do now. Like everything we saw up until this point was like, hey, look at how fast I can run across mountains. That was it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this, and it's coming out in January, so I'm super happy. I'm pumped. It's the first time I've actually been excited about this game since the Unreal engine show off thing. You know what I mean? Showcase. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Actually, these next two are my personal favorite ones, and they're not going to be the favorites of other people's, but they are favorites for me. Dead Island 2.
Yeah, man.
It was, yeah, I don't know.
It's been years, dude. It's been literally years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been years since the first one. The first one I remember had the trailer went viral, but then when the game came out, it wasn't what people expected. I was the opposite, where like, yeah, the trailer was cool, and then, people didn't really play the game. And then when I played, I was like, wow, this is right up my alley. This is basically, instead of like a zombie shooter like Left 4 Dead, which I also love. It wasn't. It was more like Fallout.
Crafting.
It was like Fallout.
Yeah, it had some crafting involved.
It was an open world crafting RPG
had
light.
Good DLC as well. Did you play the DLC?
I did not play the DLC, but it was a co-op.
It was
too.
Riptide, yeah.
It was co-op.
Yeah, dude.
Well.
That was a fantastic game. The fact that there wasn't a Dead Island 2 up until now is what baffles me. You know what I mean? Like, it should be a no-brainer to do this.
I was afraid it was going to get canceled because, like, they had been talking about this for a while. There was a kind of a demo that came out many years ago, and then we haven't heard anything since. So
there was that trailer of the dude running down what looks like Venice Beach. You know what I mean? And then the game never came out.
Yeah, I remember that one. And so I just assumed it probably just died, But no, it's finally coming out, and it looks good. I'm excited.
It looks really good, man. Yeah.
So I am actually and I like the trailer. The trailer was a mix. It's a gameplay trailer, but it's kind of a mix of cutscenes and gameplay. But
yeah,
I'm for. I hope they keep the 4-player co-op. There's one part where like they like you like take your hand and it goes like right through the zombie's head. It's very gory, but it's against zombies or whatever. So. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. And I believe it's coming on all platforms, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm very excited because I thought it was dead. Yeah, it's coming out on all platforms. I don't see PC though. PS4, PS5, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One. Yeah. Well, Epic Game Store. That means PC then.
Yeah, so I guess PC. I knew it was gonna come one day. Same with like Half-Life 3. I don't care what people say. Even if it takes 80 years, that game's gonna come out one day, So I knew the Dead Island 2. Yeah. I knew Dead Island 2 was gonna happen one day because it's a no-brainer, man. Like it's a that's a fantastic game. Nobody had a bad time playing that game, I'm just excited. And like you said, coming out soon as well. That's really exciting news.
Yeah. All right. And the next one I'm excited about, that's because I'm a fan of the television series, which I binged the whole entire series a few months ago, which is The Expanse.
The Expanse.
Telltale series. If you guys haven't seen The Expanse before, if you're big into sci-fi, especially closer to hard sci-fi, this is a series for you. I think it's one of my favorite sci-fi series. But this is the first kind of. I think they'd shown off some screenshots before, but this is like the first like full-on trailer, just kind of showing off Carmina Drummer, who was she wasn't one of the main characters, but she was like almost the main character. She was one of the supporting characters, but like almost the main character. Anyways, she was a fan favorite, and it revolves around her character. I think this takes place. I don't know. It doesn't. It's not after the show. I think it's kind of in the middle of the show. I don't remember where they placed it in terms of seasons wise, but it's like it happens between one of the seasons. But yeah, Telltale is always about story. It's it hasn't been really about gameplay or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to it. So did you ever watch
Hello?
The Expanse?
Okay.
Do you ever watch The Expanse?
No, no, but ever since I saw the trailer for this game, it's been on my list to watch. I have been meaning to watch it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I'm cutting out.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
cool,
no.
cool.
Yeah, so that was another favorite of mine. Okay, before I move on to the next topic, because the next topic for me is hold on, sorry.
Well, I got a topic. I got a topic that ties into that real quick,
Okay.
which is Tales from the Borderland
Oh,
getting
that's
a new
right.
game.
That's right.
Correct. I believe it was confirmed a few days ago. It's not from. I don't think Telltale Games is doing it, but I believe people that did do Telltale Games,
Yes.
or like the veterans, or if you will, I believe they are focusing on it. Yeah, so it's officially been announced now. 2K Gearbox. Yeah, I don't know who's working on it, but
Yeah.
supposedly the people working on it worked on the first. I love Tales of the Borderlands. It was a very good Telltale series, so I'm very happy that there's a sequel or
Yeah.
coming out.
That's
You
the
know,
thing is like I'm sure it's like some of the same people, but like even if it wasn't, because they own the Borderlands property IP, that was kind of why Telltale
Mm.
eventually fell kind of went down, was because the cost of licensing all these IPs, and none of them they owned, kind of it
Batman
started.
must have been expensive.
Yes, it started to outweigh,
Yeah.
all their costs and their profit. And look at now, like with Tales from the Borderland. What's the name of the company? I'm blanking on the name.
2K
Gearbox.
and Gearbox.
Yeah,
Well, they're yeah,
Gearbox. They can do
Gear,
it
yeah,
themselves because they own that. Because there's no copyright for that format, right? The format of
correct.
what,
Yeah.
even though Telltale popularized it, uh, they don't own that format, right? You don't own an open world. You don't own MMO. You don't own. Once someone creates that format, anyone else can copy that
You
format.
don't own choose your own adventure, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. So they could just create what they want because they own the IP. So I own it, but I
We,
haven't played it yet. The original
we
Tales
got a
from the
release we got a release date as well, by the way.
Mhm.
It's soon. It's October 21st. That's next month.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
pretty
yeah,
soon.
new Tales of the Borderlands game officially announced, coming out next month.
Mm. Yeah. All right. What else? Before we move on, because the rest of the topics I have are non-Gamescom topics. So, what other games kind of popped out to you at Gamescom?
The Mini Cooper Pokemon car. Did you see that?
No, I did not. No.
So, and this is all of, let me get, yeah. So this is official. Mini announces a Pokemon electric car. It's just, I believe it's the newer version of the Paceman range of their cars, right? They are like quite small Mini Coopers. It's the new one's called the Ace Man, and it has a Pikachu theme. You put it into Pokemon mode, and it's electric. It's an electric car, so your entire like UI becomes Pikachu themed. And I think like the outside of the car doesn't exactly look like a Pikachu, but they kind of made the headlights kind of look a bit like eyes or whatever. And then they gave it like a mouth with teeth, but the teeth, I feel like the teeth might be like the bottom half of the Union Jack because it's Mini, you know what I mean, Mini Cooper. I like the UI. It's hilarious. Literally, it just turns into Pikachu on the inside of the car. The outside of the car still looks like a Mini for the most part. And I think this is official. Like this is an official collaboration between Mini Cooper and Pokemon, which is interesting. Um, Something else small that jumped up to me is Hideo Kojima starting a podcast.
Oh,
That was
really?
announced at Gamescom. Yeah, he's starting a podcast. I don't know if it's going to be in English, but yeah, September 8th. That's going to be airing on Spotify. It's called Brain Structure, I guess, is the name of the podcast. It's going to be a deep dive into his brain and shed light on his creative process. Subsequent episodes will be released each Thursday, available in both Japanese and English. There we go. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was like that's a weird thing to announce at Gamescom, man. You know what I mean? Like I love Hideo Kojima, but he's like, "Yo guys, starting a podcast. Go check it out." You know? That caught my eye. Yeah. Something that caught my eye, I'm actually curious as to I don't know, maybe you didn't see this, but I feel like you would enjoy this too, which is this game called Where Winds Meet.
Hmm.
Have you heard of it?
Name
It's
sounds
being
familiar,
referred
but I
to
don't remember.
it's being referred to as Ghost of Tsushima, but set in medieval China.
Hmm.
And there's actually a trailer here. I'll link it to you. You can watch it afterwards. It looks pretty good, man. I enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. I know you did too. And I think medieval China is a great setting for it, you know?
Hmm.
It's I mean gameplay is different. Like you got your bow and arrow stuff going on. It's got a little bit of like the combat reminds me a little bit of Wukong.
Okay. Yeah, a
Um
lot of the games coming out of China right now
yeah,
are kind of that similar style.
Souls like kind of
Yeah.
dodge roll. So like the melee combat's like that. Then you've got your ranged combat. And it looks like time slows down if you jump and you shoot your arrow, which is kind of like a Breath of the Wild mechanic. It looks pretty good, man. I don't know much about it, but it looks fun, you know? And there's like and it's very like fantastic like fantasy related, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
The game is set during the Ten Kingdoms era between rival dynasties at the end of the Southern Tang dynasty. The main character is a mysterious swordsman navigating these treacherous times. It looks pretty cool, man. So that caught my eye. Um, yeah, just I know I'm a big fan of like ancient China and like the feudal
Yeah.
era in Japan and stuff like that. I like those kinds of things, man, you know? So that caught my eye. What's I think there is this Gamescom related? This is not Gamescom related. Or is it Gamescom related? Oh, it is, it is. We got the release date for Gotham Knights, wasn't it? Yeah. And Harley Quinn and Clayface are going to be major villains in Gotham Knights. We know that
Hmm.
now as well. Um, October 21. Okay, so it's coming out 4 days earlier. I was gonna say,
Oh.
so that's new. Usually there are delays, not like, hey, the game's coming out 4 days earlier now. Originally it was gonna be October 25th, and now it's October 21st.
Yeah.
I don't know
Wonder what
what
the
what
reason.
difference that makes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Do you think it's related to Halloween?
I don't
Like I can't think of any like what does 4 days do? You know?
know. I mean, I guess they want to
Oh
place
well.
it. You said the 21st instead of the 24th. Is that what it is?
The 25th. Yeah, it's coming out 4 days earlier.
I guess maybe they want to catch that weekend in a weekend release instead of a Tuesday. I don't know. That's the only.
Yeah, man. I don't know. But hey, yeah, game's coming out next month, so looking forward to that. We know Harley Quinn and Clayface are going to be major villains in it. So
Hmm.
that's actually pretty good to know. Um, okay, no, these are not Gamescom related. Oh, this I don't know if this was announced at Gamescom. I don't think it was, but Sony is working on a Days Gone movie, which makes sense. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I feel like that's also a no-brainer. It's much like The Last of Us. Zombie games are easy to turn into zombie movies or zombie TV shows, you know?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I enjoyed Days Gone. I played it on PC. I enjoyed it more on PC than I did on console,
Why?
because I enjoyed playing
Why?
with mouse and keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Mouse and keyboard, yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm currently playing Horizon Zero Dawn again,
Hmm.
and I love that game, but I'm replaying it again on a mouse and keyboard, and I'm enjoying it. It's a different experience. I actually prefer playing it on a controller,
Hmm.
but I'm enjoying learning a new system. But no, Days Gone did well for me because I enjoyed playing it with mouse and keyboard.
Hmm.
You know, I didn't really like you just have more accuracy, you know, with the gun and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're making a movie. That makes sense to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, Yeah, man. There was a lot of trailers at Gamescom that were just like CGI trailers, and then they
Hmm.
don't tell you anything about the game. And another one of those is like Atlas Fallen. I told you about it before the time. where really cool CGI cutscene,
Hmm.
but we don't know anything about the game other than your weapons are entirely made out of sand, or you're using sand as a base of a weapon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we don't know anything about it, but the trailer looked cool, so I'll throw that out there. Atlas Fallen, it looks pretty cool. It's coming in 2023 on every single console and PC or whatever. Um, yeah. There's actually quite a lot. I don't know if we have the time to talk about it all, so I'm just gonna get the bigger ones.
Hmm.
Uh, Marvel canceled an open world Iron Man game
That was like a
from the
long time
studio
ago,
that
though,
made.
right?
Yeah, yeah. This is from the studio that made Just Cause, but like I think we're getting more news out of it. Yeah, so the creators of Just Cause were working on an Iron Man game.
Hmm.
Oh, this is like 2012. You're right. Yeah, this is a long time ago. I guess they just recently come up in news again because they had like a podcast where the guy spoke about it or whatever. Um, there actually was an Iron Man game, if I recall, but I think it was like a movie spin-off game, you know?
Hmm.
Could be wrong about that. Oh, there's a game that came out from Devolver Digital, which I love Devolver Digital. A game came out recently called Cult of the Lamb. I've been playing
Yeah,
it. I love it.
it's been getting a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, it reached 1 million players in a week, you know, and there was very little advertising for this game. It just kind of plopped out. It's interesting. I consider it like a cross between Binding of Isaac and Animal Crossing because the mechanics of the game, it's a roguelike game that's incredibly similar to Binding of Isaac in terms of like at least the way the stages work.
Hmm.
But then you come back to your own base and you're busy building a cult and you're working with your little cultists and it's adorable by the way. The art style is it's cute. It's actually super cute. It's funny because it's a game about making your own cult, but it's super cute. You can name your own cult too, but I just did cult with a lamb. I'm throwing it out there because it's fun. Yeah, it's a roguelike management sim. I don't know. It's fun. I it it's I don't know how much it costs in dollars on Steam, but like I can't be more than $10 or $20. You know what I mean? It's a very small game, but it's really fun. Highly recommend that.
Hmm.
And then this is something we speculated, but I suppose now it's just being solidified in our eyes, which is that Netflix wants to introduce cloud gaming into its service.
Yeah, yes. I mean,
Yeah,
it only makes sense with
they
their
have to.
technology.
I will say I've actually because Netflix does have gaming. I don't know if you use Netflix on your phone, but they do push you the mobile games because obviously Netflix has now entered that realm of gaming.
Yeah,
But they only have like 5 or 6 games, and they're
yeah,
mobile games and they're very small. You know what I mean?
yeah. Never touched it.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like so, it's they gotta make some moves there. So this makes sense. Um, I think we know this because a job listing. Yeah, a job listing opened up for a rendering engineer. In this, and the job description goes, in this role, you will help optimize the rendering of games so we can render multiple games on our cloud gaming appliances. So that's how we know that they're getting very serious about the cloud gaming, and they want to help develop their cloud games ecosystem, etc., etc. Um, so yeah, we knew they were going to do that, but now that they're hiring positions for it, it seems like they're moving along with the process a lot quicker, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then this is actually the thing that got me the most stoked, man. It was announced a while ago. I don't know if you remember a game that got announced a while ago called High on Life
Yes.
from
Yes.
Justin
Yes.
Roiland. Not Dan Harmon, but just Justin Roiland. Justin Roiland,
The
apparently they have like he partnered with these other people. They made their own game studio. It's called Squanch Games, which
yes
is the most Justin
it's after
yeah.
Squanchy from Rick and Morty. So
After Squanchy, yeah.
yeah.
The most Justin Roiland thing ever. Anyways, so this game, it's definitely the more edgier game they did. Like Trover was fun,
Yeah.
but this game is like you're playing a game where your weapons are talking
Hmm.
weapons, and they're all crazy, and like that's where like the weird voices and the funniness comes in. Like you have I think you have a knife called Stabby, and he's just like telling you he's like yeah I think it's was it Terry Crews? I don't know who voices it. No, it's not Terry Crews. Some other dude. And he's just like yell. It's hilarious. It looks really good. So we got a new trailer at Gamescon just to keep building hype, which I'm excited about. I think we got a release date as well, which we didn't have before the time. Yeah, December 13th. Um, oh no,
What?
it's not coming out on PC. Oh, it is coming out on PC. I read that wrong. I'm so happy. It's coming out on PC. It is also going to be on Game Pass. So that's freaking
Yeah,
awesome. Looking forward to that. Yeah.
perfect game for Game
Um,
Pass.
I suppose I'll read this just to give people an idea of what it is. High on Life features a universe in which humans are the universe's greatest drug, and the weapons are alive and feature their own personalities. Its hero is a human high schooler who becomes a galactic bounty hunter. So essentially, like I think humans are being harvested by aliens to be used as drugs. like we, like the the idea behind this is crazy. I love it, but it looks good. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because supposedly there's four full-length movies in this game. There's 20 animated shorts that's like you could like that's on the TV in the game. So like if you're in the game and you walk up to a TV, like in GTA, you can watch the TV in Grand Theft Auto. Same in this game, you can watch the TV and there's like 20 animated shorts made by Justin Roiland and his friends. Uh, yeah, four full-length movies. It's that's really cool. Yeah, going back to like it's like a throwback to or callback to Interdimensional Cable that they did on Rick and Morty. Man, I'm looking forward to this. I was just talking to a friend about this game the other day, and they just brought out this trailer again, which I'm so excited about. Um, yeah, like that's cool. I just think it's cool that there's so much content within the game itself already when it comes out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I can ease so like if you're bored of running around with your guns talking to you, you can just go watch like probably a couple hours worth of like random animated shorts on a TV. I like that idea. Yeah, it was revealed back in June. That's the first time we saw it. So it's coming to Game Pass too. Excited about that.
Okay.
Okay, that's not worth it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of like we don't have time to cover it all, but a couple other things that caught my eye. Blacktail. Blacktail looked quite interesting. It's a game about witchcraft and the legend of the Baba Yaga. So that caught my eye. That looks quite cool. Um, that is not worth talking about either. Um, that's not worth talking about either. Oh, this caught my eye as well because it's from like old Bethesda and Obsidian devs. I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't even know if I can pronounce it. Word Word Song? WYRD, Word Song, I think. But yeah, it's from guys who they worked at Bethesda for 16 years. They worked on games like Fallout 3, 4, Fallout 76, Skyrim, Oblivion. Um, and it's one of those things where it's a minute long teaser trailer. We don't know much about it, but I think what is this? I think the budget was about 3.2 million for it. I could be wrong. But I mean, I'm just interested in it because I love RPGs and it's coming from people who worked on some of our favorite games, you know?
Hmm.
Um, a lot of like there's a whole long interview about it, I suppose, that tells you more about the game itself, but we don't once again, it's just a trailer. Uh, do you ever watch have you ever heard of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Dennis?
I've heard of it.
I think it's a movie, if I recall, like a bad horror movie. Well, bad slash good, depending on
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
look at
yeah.
it. It's turning into a game, a
Hmm.
3v7 game. I'm assuming the three people will be the evil clowns, the killer clowns,
Hmm.
and the other seven people will have to survive. I don't know. Yeah, it's an asymmetric multiplayer game. I see it being similar to like Dead by Daylight kind of thing, you know, where the survivors have got to survive or whatever. But I found that quite interesting. This maybe you'll find this interesting. The people that made Job Simulator, they're working on a new Untitled VR game. And they showed it off at Gamescon opening night. Um, I don't know much. We don't know much about the game itself, but it's focusing on hand tracking, which makes sense because did you play Job Simulator?
No, but I'm familiar with it,
Yeah, really fun. They did the Rick and Morty game as well. They
which
had
I
a
really liked.
sequel. Yeah, they had a sequel called Vacation Simulator, which I tried out,
Hmm.
and it's the only game. Well, I don't know if it's the only, but for me, from my knowledge and my experience, it's the only game on the Oculus Quest that uses hand tracking in game very well.
Hmm.
So it makes sense for them for their next game to be purely focusing on hand tracking because they spent a lot of time working on hand tracking for a Vacation Simulator. Um, So we don't know what the game's about. People think it might be about eating. That's the biggest clue we got. The game might be about eating. The tagline for the game is "You had to be there." You know what that means?
Yeah.
It's going to be a multiplayer social kind of game as well, which I like. Um, and then along the lines of that, we are getting PSVR 2 early next year, which makes sense because of all the clips we have seen from the PSVR 2, it does seem like it's pretty much ready to roll out, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's coming early next year. We don't know when, but early next year. And just a reminder, it's running at 120 hertz, so you can get 120 FPS. You can also get 120 FPS on your Oculus Quest. I believe you have to enable it through experimental mode or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Experimental
think you actually
features or
have to
whatever. Yeah.
experimental features. I think you have to enable it last time I checked.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the thing that I like the most about this headset is the 110-degree field of view. Field of view, I think, is very important in VR, so that's going to be
Mm.
quite cool. Also, from experience, I think it's the most comfortable headset you can possibly have. But you can buy third-party like Halo crowns for your
Mm.
Quest, and you can get the same experience. Very happy with the way the controllers look as well. The controllers look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got one last bit of news here, which was the
Okay.
bigger news of Sony being sued for 5 billion euros. Oh, I don't see people, I don't see them winning this case in particularly because it's like, so supposedly Sony is charging a 30% commission fee on the games. And it's like, but doesn't Steam charge a 30%
Yep.
commission fee as
Yes.
well?
My question
Like
is
I don't
maybe it's like they don't tell you or something like that. Is that what it is? Is it maybe it's like something where it's like
Because
added on? I
here's the
don't know.
thing, like, doesn't the 30% commission technically screw over the developers and not the
Yes.
consumers?
Yes,
Because
that's why
this law, yeah, it doesn't make sense. This lawsuit is essentially about they're saying, hey, no, the consumers are getting ripped off. I don't feel ripped off as someone. I've bought a full price game. When I'm on the PlayStation Store, go straight to the sales. You know what I mean? I go straight to the deals. I'm not gonna like I very rarely buy something full price unless I pre-ordered or got excited for it, you know? And like it's still 60, like they don't from what I know, they're not overcharging. Like a $60 game is a $60 game. If they get a 30% commission of that, that just means the developer is getting less money. I'm still paying, I can go and buy the game on Xbox, it's still going to be $60, you know what I mean? So I don't see this going well for whoever's trying to sue them. Like I don't see them winning this. That's a lot of money, dude. $5 billion, $5 billion lawsuit. Um, what's this? Consumer rights. It's from a consumer rights advocate, Alex Neil. He's an ex-managing director of a non-profit consumer advice organization in the UK, which is the leading legal action, and said, yeah, apparently they're saying the game is up for Sony as if they got them red-handed or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, according to their data, the individual, like because of the, once again, I don't know how this relates to the consumer,
Mm-hmm.
but they're saying that the estimated damages per individual over the last 6 years range anywhere from about $80 to $560. I'm rounding that down and rounding up for easiness, but don't feel like I don't know anybody, and I don't feel like I got ripped off by 500 by like $660. You How are they overcharging? Like who's buying a game that costs more than $60? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. I don't see this coming. I don't see this going down well. Like why go after Sony for their 30% commission when Steam has a 30% commission, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Xbox does too.
Mm.
You know, Apple has a 30%
Yes.
commission, you know?
On their app store. Yeah.
Exactly. So I just don't get what the hell this guy's going on about. You know, with this legal action, I'm standing up for the millions of UK people who have unwittingly been overcharged. How can you be overcharged if the price like the price point is competitive, Dennis? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sony's not going to spend is not going to charge you $80 for a $60 game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just not going to buy it there. So I don't know. I don't know where what this guy's thinking. Um, I don't think Sony is worried. I wouldn't be. You know what I mean? I don't see it being unfair to the consumer at all. Unfair to the developers, maybe, but to the consumer, no. And also, if you're dumb enough to buy $90 for a $60, if you're dumb enough to spend more money than what a game is worth, then that's on you, man. You know? I don't know. That's the last bit of news I have.
Yeah. I have three things left. One is Call of Duty Warzone, The Last Stand. Apparently, the last season, the fifth and final season of Call of Duty
Thank
Warzone
God.
before Warzone 2. It's
Thank
actually
God.
just came out today. How, it's always interesting seeing these free to play games have like sequels. They're still free, but you gotta like, how does that work in terms of people that still want to play the old version? I guess you can just keep playing it still. 'Cause
I'm sure they'll shut down the servers.
it's interesting because it's like
Like,
Fortnite hasn't
yeah.
had a Fortnite 2. It's just been they've just been updating the same Fortnite.
Well, there was an
Apex
engine. There was like an engine update.
was
Like there was
there.
a huge overhaul, but they didn't change the name. The
Mm-hmm.
game was still the same.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like the game shut down for like a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I think they used their now it's using the new Unreal Engine and a couple things like that. But they made season two, like so not season two, episode. No, what is I don't know. They named it something else, but there was like a sequel or whatever. But
Chapter
the
2
game's
or
not
some shit
different.
like that.
Chapter two, that's it. But
Yeah.
they just essentially updated the engine, but the game's the same. You know what I mean? The physics engine, like there are changes like that, but it's all the same game. Like you're not downloading a new game, you're just updating the original game. The move Warzone is making to end, first of all, the fact that it's ending is one of the smartest things that they can do. Because it gives them the opportunity to then, I don't know if this is their plan for Warzone 2, but hopefully they've now learned their lesson that you need to separate the Call of Duty from Warzone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that you have to install half of Call of Duty's resources to be able to installation sizes are too big. The fact that Warzone, the fact that they went through a different battle royale, they had what was it? It was Black Light or something. I forgot what it was called, which was their first battle royale, and then they made Warzone, and that was going to be Warzone 2. I don't like as long as they can separate it from the actual Call of Duty, and it's a separate installation with a separate launcher. I think that they could do really well because their King Kong Godzilla collaboration was awesome. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
Like Godzilla and King Kong were
I heard
in
about it. I
Warzone. They
heard
were
about it,
in
but
the
I
game.
didn't
Yeah,
actually see it.
it was cool, man. It was really cool. Um, but yeah, the game's dying off a little bit, anyways. Um, Fortnite's getting a lot more hype these days because, man, I don't care what anybody says about Fortnite. Like, yeah, it can be considered a child's game, but the real metaverse is Fortnite.
Mm.
I don't know anywhere else where you can be DC and Marvel in the same game, where you can be Goku blasting a Kamehameha wave at Naruto. Like the amount of different like that's the true metaverse is fucking Fortnite nailed the real metaverse, man. Like the amount of different IP in that. You know, you could be Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Naruto running from go like it's baffle it's amazing. You know what I mean? Like the amount of like collaborations they've made is crazy. Anyways, that's not what this is about. Thank God Warzone is separating itself. Thank God it's getting a last season. And I don't mean it because I hate Warzone. I just think that this gives them a chance to do something better. Not that Warzone needs to be better. It just needs to be separate. You know what I mean? It needs to be its own thing entirely. And then it needs to there should if they are going to do Warzone 2, that should be it. Like that should be Warzone 2 should last for years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
All right. Next thing up, we mentioned this briefly. Black Myth Wukong. They released the 8 minutes of new gameplay with
Mm.
using the NVIDIA RTX ray tracing. It's in 4K. Looks great. This game looks like a total
Looks amazing, man.
AAA studio, but it's not that it's a small team, but it's not, it's not as big
They've
as,
been expanding.
yeah, they've been expanding recently, but I mean, it looks like a AAA title from the design, the animation, everything about it just looks, you know, like top notch. Hopefully, it plays as good as it looks. In this new trailer, they show a bunch of kind of mini bosses and Wukong fighting and whatnot. So, yeah, every time I see like footage of this game, it's always like a different creature. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
They're
seem like
they're changing the engine. It's I love it, man.
yeah. So everyone's still excited for this game. They're just building so much hype. I'm kind of worried that maybe it's building too much hype.
I don't think here's my speculation on that game is that it's going to be amazing, but I think it's going to be short,
Okay.
which is a given because it's a small studio. I think the game's going to be quite short, but I think it's going to be amazing but short, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
All right. All right. My last thing here. It's real quick. I don't think we mentioned it, even though like there's been hints about it. But Death Stranding is now available on PC Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
not on the Xbox, but through Xbox. I mean, they renamed it. It's no longer whatever Xbox Game Pass on PC. It's called PC Game Pass. But anyways,
Yeah.
if you have either PC Game Pass or if you have Ultimate Game Pass, you can download. It's I think 60 gigs. You can download and play this once PlayStation exclusive on your PC. I mean, you could already play it on your PC, but through your Xbox, Microsoft, account.
It is unfortunately not the director's cut, though, I believe, which is unfortunate. But you win some and you lose some. We got the game,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, if you really like it, then get the director's cut on your own, I guess. But I think that's the last bit of news for me. Anything
No,
else
yeah,
for
same.
you?
Well, look, there's a lot. The thing is, I don't think we have the time to cover it. And if anybody listening or watching this, if there's any game that was a Gamescom that we didn't mention, feel free to talk to us about it in the comments section or in our Discord channel. It's just for the most part, a lot of the things that caught my eye, there's just no information about it. It's like a 1 minute CGI cutscene and it looks awesome, but it's not in game and there's no gameplay and it's just you don't know. I don't know what it's about. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of games that we haven't spoken about, but it's just because there's not enough information about it, or we're just not interested enough. But hey, if there is anything that caught your eye at Gamescom, and we didn't talk about it, hit us up in the comment section. I'm more than happy to talk about it.
Yeah. And then I've been kind of getting back into gaming since I've been back. Played some more Guardians of the Galaxy, so just kind of slowly getting through that. Then also a new VR game came out, a sequel to one of my favorite VR games, Red Matter 2. If you check it out,
How is it?
it's good. I mean, I haven't played that much of it, but I think it's only like a 4 or 5 hour game. I'm only like maybe 30 to 45 minutes into it, but it looks great. I mean, that's what happens when you have a game that doesn't have any NPCs. It doesn't have any like, there's no
It's
other
just puzzles
characters.
and exploration. Yeah.
So the environments just look really good. Like if you look at it, you're like, wow, how is this? It's like one of the best.
Dude, the
looking
original,
VR.
yeah, the original Red Matter game. That thing, I can't believe. Like when we played it, I played it on the Oculus Quest, the first one,
Yeah.
and when I played Red Matter, that was the first VR game that I played that made me go, wow, VR is gonna be going places. Like I played Beat Saber, I played Super Hot. Those games are fun, but they're very arcadey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Red Matter was the first game I played, going, oh wow, I can have some amazing narrative experiences here.
Yes. That utilize VR in a proper manner. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm starting to play that. Hopefully I can finish that soon. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I might pick that up for myself actually. Thanks for telling me about it.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Thanks for everyone that's been watching or listening. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. You can find our podcast on Spotify or anchor.fm. You can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero or Instagram Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on the Discord channel. There should be a link in the description below if you guys ever want to talk. I've deleted all my other socials for anxiety purposes, but I am on Twitch at It's Thespis, all lowercase, one word. Should be a link in the description below as well. If I get to 100 followers, I'll get back to streaming.
Cool. All right. Until next time. See you guys later.
Later.